You're tuned into the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Calendar and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go. Episode 17 of the It's Real podcast. I'm Andrew Yagi, and I'm a real estate agent.
And I'm Kayla Calendar, and I'm a mortgage lender.
Kayla, you look, I'll say festive, maybe ahead of the 4th of July holiday weekend. You got your white and blue on at least.
I do. I feel like, is it Lucy? You know, Lucille Ball that has that, right? That's how I feel today. Yeah. But I'm ready for the 4th. I'm excited because the weather looks amazing. I don't know about you, but I've been kind of scoping it out. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. And I'm sure you guys are dying to get out to your lake property. Hopefully not going to sit and work on projects all weekend, but maybe going to enjoy it a little bit.
Yes, that's the plan. There are projects, though. There are projects, but yes, we're going to enjoy it. We're hosting family and friends, and there'll be 7 dogs. So it'll be wonderful. So how about you? What are your plans for the?
Yeah, so we're going to go out to Otter Tail Lake, I think, for the weekend, and just kind of making some plans. The 4th of July happens to be one of my favorite holidays. It's also my birthday, Kayla.
Yes, I know. Are you going to have a big 21st birthday party, or what's your plan?
It was almost decades ago, but yeah, things are a little bit more low key these days, obviously with 3 kids. But usually get together on my dad's side of the family, have a little bit of a gathering, and just kind of kick back and relax and kind of do what the kids want to do, I guess.
That's awesome. Well, it'll be fun no matter what. I hope you have some great celebrations. And I know this time of year, people kind of pull off on real estate just a little bit. A lot of times it's just because people don't want to necessarily be showing homes or looking at homes. They're kind of wanting to just relax. So are you seeing that, around this time too?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually had a conversation with one of my seller clients about just that a couple of days ago, just because we, maybe a little bit of a smaller market and nice house, probably a higher price point for that market. And just talking about, hey, we've been on the market for, a good amount of time, and, we've had some showings, but no offers. Do we look at a price drop?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Because I really do feel, our week things are picking up for us a little bit this week, but I feel like things have been a little bit slower these past couple of weeks. And I think you're absolutely right. Just kind of ahead of the 4th, people are enjoying summer. I'm not really going to make a decision, but I feel like the 4th happens and people start saying, oh, summer's over, which, man, we just started. Yeah. And hey, where are we going to be this fall? Where do we want to be this winter? So I'm glad you obviously see that too.
I do. It's kind of a mad dash after to try to get into a home before school starts for kids. But around this time, people are taking vacation. In North Dakota and Minnesota, we just really try to take advantage of our summers. So a lot of people just say, hey, I'm putting it to bed for a while. I'm taking vacation. So I'm definitely seeing that already.
Speaking of enjoying the summer and everything, I was kind of looking around online a little bit. It looks like you've done your share of maybe some golfing, some golf tournaments, hanging out at the lake. I was looking just the other day. It looks like you guys had a pretty awesome awesome golf tournament in the lake and had your FIBT golf balls.
Yes, we do. We took first place in the women's division, and that's because we were the only women's team at the first international annual golf outing. So
I've got to ask you, do you actually enjoy like the golf aspect, or for you, is it more the social piece?
So here's the thing, Andy. I don't devote time to golf. So therefore, if I'm not actually good at something, I don't enjoy it. But I'm actually okay at golf. I golf like 4 times a year, but I enjoy all of it. I just think, you get it. Yeah. When you're good at something, you usually enjoy it more. So I like it, but I could like it more. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not good at golf. I enjoy the social piece of it, but honestly,
Mhm.
you know what? I've tried to get into golf. I mean, I've had, lots of invitations from friends or, people in the area. There's some weekly groups, and I'd love to get into it, but just with all of the things I have going on, I just can't, at least not right at this point. And kind of the same thing. If I'm not good at it, I
Right.
don't really want
Well,
to do
you're good
much.
at everything, so I'm pretty sure if you picked up a club, you'd be just fine.
I don't know. Sports is one thing that I never excelled at, Kayla, and mostly because I just didn't work at it and I didn't love it. So I think that was really the biggest thing. But there are
Mhm.
enough other things I enjoy doing, such as flying. Which,
Yeah,
speaking of, I need to come and see you on the lake. We
do.
talked about it a little bit. That a friend of mine and I, we kind of went in together and bought an amphibious float plane, and so we've been flying that to the lake a little bit. Here's a picture of it. It's a lake amphibian, which is kind of like a flying boat. It's really, really,
Yeah.
they haven't been produced since the late 90s, and this is from the 70s, but this was out on Otter Tail Lake recently. Trying to talk my wife into getting in it with me, but she is not so keen on it. One of her biggest fears
Mhm.
is drowning, but I was able to talk her into letting me bring Ella, kind of our oldest, with, and Ella, I think, Ella had a really good time when we were flying together.
Look
Uh,
at her face. She's very excited to be with dad.
she was really excited, and we're just from
Cool.
where we're at on Otter Tail to where you're at. We're just a quick hop, so maybe this weekend we'll have to hop over and say hi.
You know where we're at. If not, I'll send you my address and pin. So,
Awesome. Well, Kayla, so what are you seeing in the mortgage world with rates and in the market this week?
market rates have been pretty flat. I mean, I think last time we talked, I think from my memory, it was around 6.92. So rates are remaining pretty stable. They're still kind of hovering around that 7 mark for a 30-year fixed. So just not a ton of movement up or down. Which is okay. When we're seeing markets, swinging, it gets emotional because people are like, "Do I lock? Do I float?"
Yeah.
So nothing really exciting to report this week.
Sure. I had seen a little bit from another lender that I'm friends with, and just happened to kind of get
Mhm.
emails and just kind of talked a little bit about the Federal Reserve chair, just kind of talking about that. Hey, we could
Yep.
see a couple additional 25 basis point hikes this year yet, and
Mhm.
obviously we've got a big report coming out this week, dealing with personal consumption expenditure index, and it's going to be
Mhm.
watched very closely, and could very well affect kind of where we see the housing market and rates go. But I think one thing's for sure, regardless of where we see rates, there still is just not a lot of supply out there.
Mhm.
So I
That's
think
an
we're gonna,
issue.
yeah, it's a huge, huge issue. So
Mhm.
until we can solve that, I think demand is still going to be pretty high for housing.
You're right. I actually talked to 2 gentlemen this morning, each separately, and they are set on buying now because they feel and fear that if they wait, it's just going to be really competitive if there's not a lot of movement in inventory. So a lot of people are starting to say, you know what, I'll deal with this rate today, this 6.92. If rates go up, cool, I'm good. But if rates go down, I'll refinance. So people are saying, I'm willing to spend the money on an investment right now, knowing I'm protected if they go up and I can refinance if they go down. So I've had just today, 2 conversations where people are very committed to buying now.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. And ultimately that's what you have to do to be successful in this market as an agent or a lender is, you have to go out and dig through and kind of find who are those motivated individuals that are, positioned and ready to go, because
Mhm.
I get calls every day from people. I just want to go see a house, and they're not teed up and ready to go. And it's just going to be a waste of everyone's time with as quickly
Mhm.
as things are moving. And it's something, I think the longer you're in the business, you get more cognizant of your time. I've
You
become
do.
really, really conscious of my time, even just trying to track my time better and where does it all
Mhm.
go, because it's easy to waste time and to let other people waste it too.
It is, and I think as you learn about yourself in this business, whether you're a lender or a realtor, if you helped every single person that just asked you, you would have no time. You'd be burned out. But if you find the people that, okay, I will help you, but how serious are you? Do you want to get pre approved? Do you want to talk hard facts? I think it's a mutual relationship where you understand that time is valuable. But by having that time and committing, it just sets you up for more success later on.
Yep, it absolutely does.
Mhm.
Well, I know you've got a tight schedule today just because you've got closings and I've got
I
some
do.
appointments as well. But so it's always exciting. Always be closing, right? You
ABC.
gotta get everyone to their goal. But I
Mhm.
want to hone in a little bit, and we've talked a lot over the now 17 episodes that we've done, kind of
Yeah.
about what are some important things to look at in a lender or an agent. But let's take a step back even before that. How do people even find a lender or an agent, or select one? Because let's be honest, there is just a sea of individuals out there, who are hungry for business, who are ready. But where do you even start? Where does someone start, Kayla?
Well, my opinion is you start by getting pre-approved and finding that lender. And
But
so,
how do you even find that lender?
but to take a step back, it's that question. Well, where do I find a lender? Where do I go? How do I don't know. Do I Google it? Do I, just walk into a bank? And so the best advice that I have,
That's a good idea, Kayla. Let's look for lenders.
oh, well, and a lot of people do this. I would too. If I knew nothing about mortgages, I'd Google it. Um, and so a lot of people will go to Google, they'll talk to their friends, their coworkers, and they'll typically maybe go with someone that was referred to them by their realtor. A lot of people are starting with seeing a home or talking to a realtor first. A lot of realtors get out there and they, market themselves, and everybody seems to know a realtor. So a lot of people are getting referrals from their realtor, family, friends, and I would say online search. So my best advice is if you want to start, yeah, do those things. But don't just call lenders and say, "What's your rate today? What are your costs?" Because at the end of the day, like we just talked about, if you want to get serious, there's a lot of factors that impact your mortgage rate. And if you're just shopping rate, I can promise you, you're not going to have a good experience.
Mhm.
Same with real estate, because when you have people calling you, Andy, and they're like, "Hey, what are you going to charge for this?" And can I see a home today? No, you want to get to know the person, their needs, their goals, their fears, their pleasure points. Like, what is it that you can do for a client? And I'm the same way. So, to kind of go back, how do you start looking for a lender? Have conversations, call them, have phone calls. If I have a phone call with my clients right away. I know people are busy. We hop on a call, 20-minute call right away. Or if they've got time in person, sure, we will. But get to know lenders. Don't just call and ask them, what's your rate today? Because that's
Absolutely.
not the only thing that's important.
So I think relationships are the most important. Like you said, a lot of people they're relying on family, friends, people they know to kind of find a recommendation. I had just, Kayla, an absolute unicorn potential client come across my desk the other day. They reached out to me via email. I was recommended to them by their family members who were some of our longtime neighbors on the lake. And we started, they're traveling up here from out of state. They're looking for something seasonal. They're going to be here, for about 3 weeks, and they just want to look at properties. And so we talked about that. And then we talked about getting pre approved. And so they were able to connect with a lender of their choice, kind of go through, and the lender connected with me, and hey, absolutely no problem. Great. Ran a bunch of scenarios, and this is fantastic. And then we connect, and they don't even want to look until next week, the middle of next week. So
Mhm.
just fantastic clients that are doing everything that
Yeah.
we're asking of them. But so relationships, number one. But number two, again, I think a lot of people do go on Google. And so how do you find, there are a lot of paid ads. There are a number of lenders. I'm kind of surprised, like Valley Mortgage has a lot of reviews. Not a lot of other lenders look to have a tremendous. We got to
Mhm.
get you working on your Google reviews, Kayla. Not to be critical, but you've got 10 Google reviews. The interesting thing though is I'm kind of looking as people are searching, that Google now they allow you to run like a local service ad. They must not for lenders. But if
Mhm.
I go and I Google real estate agents, like it pops up Google screened
Mhm.
results. And like I'm the top in the area. And so it's just kind of, one additional way,
Mhm.
to get to kind of the top of the stack. And so really important, for us to be finding those motivated people via Google. I had a really interesting experience, Kayla, with Google reviews, and that I had worked with another local agent who does a tremendous amount of business. And I
Good.
bought a lot of properties through him before I was licensed. I left him a 5-star Google review saying the experience was great. And I actually had, I was competing, him and I were competing for a client, and the client actually used that review against me. It's like, well, you gave him a 5-star review. So, why, boy, if you review him, well, why would we want to work with you?
Mhm.
Hey, just because I'm in real estate now doesn't mean I'm necessarily
Yeah.
going to take down a Google review, but that's kind of a strange instance of maybe a Google review, being hurtful when it's a
Mhm.
5-star review. But
Yeah.
Kayla, I was noticing, to kind of be real, uh, I was looking through your reviews.
Ah.
So
Bring it up. Let's talk about it.
yeah, Facebook here, you've got 52 reviews, a 4.8. Our good buddy Tad up here is reviewing you as an agent, had a great experience with you, so that's great. I'm, seeing
Yep.
some other agents here that have reviewed you, and then I get down to a gal here that doesn't recommend you and
Yeah,
talks
let's read that, shall we, Andy?
Neil is very inappropriate and unprofessional regarding relationships with clients. She made home buying a painful, stressful process because of her flamboyant disposition. Okay,
Mhm.
well, I can call you a lot of things. I don't think I'd call you flamboyant, but you obviously you gave these individuals a bad experience.
Yeah. K
Is this a fake
So
review? Eva?
so this person is, if you'll notice my comment, this is not an actual client. This is somebody that created a fake profile, and I asked and proved to Facebook how it was false. Facebook will not take stuff down, let me tell you.
Yeah,
But what I can tell you, Andy, is that you're not for everybody. And
yeah,
sometimes, I'm going to be very honest, if you are a woman and someone's boyfriend reaches out and asks for help on a mortgage and you're helping them, they might not be okay with that.
yeah.
Some of
I,
them will go and create a fake profile
I
and
get
comment.
it.
So, you know what? It is what it is. That's the territory you're in when someone asks for help. I don't care how old they are. I don't care their sex, how much money they have. I'm here to help. But you know what? Some people just truthfully are insecure. That's what happens.
Yeah, life goes on. Go find your people. But
Mm,
hey, Kayla, I want to get us back to kind of the discussion here a little bit. And so obviously relationships are key. So ask someone you
yeah.
trust for their recommendation. But there are obviously a lot, I mean, there are a lot of good individuals out there, but just going online and looking at reviews can be helpful. But really, it goes a lot deeper than that. Just because someone has 55-star reviews doesn't mean they're a great agent. I mean, they just might be good at collecting reviews.
Mhm.
What are some other things people should look at, once they found someone they think they want to work with?
If you're really looking into someone, what I do, Andy, is I send someone my QR code. It's on my email, it's on my digital business card. I'll tell people, go Google me, go look at my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook. Because at the end of the day, we all know that people like, I don't create relationships by just talking about mortgage. I create relationships by talking about the things I'm passionate about and hearing, I can't tell you how many times my clients are like, yeah, I've got a dog. And I'm like, oh, what kind? Oh, you got them from the same rescue I did. Like, you get to know people,
Yeah.
right? And that's how you create these raving super fans, is you get to know someone and you trust them as a human. I don't care how many Google reviews you have. You might say, hey, I'm going to give you put you in a drawing for $50 if you give me a good Google review. Or maybe some, lenders have to have their Google review done by, it's the bank that they review, not them, things like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I say get to know the human, the realtor, the lender, and just get to know them, whether that's, you know, actually going to their social medias or essentially, Andy, Googling them and seeing it's not just about Google reviews, but what comes up when you Google them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're part of that nonprofit. Oh, they go to the same church I do. For me, when I am referred to somebody, that's what I do is I get to know them as a human
Mhm.
first.
Yep.
And then that leads to, okay, now what can you do for me? How can you help me? And I interview that person. What sets you apart from someone else? So when people ask me questions, they're like, sorry, I have so many questions. I'm like, no, this is important. Bring it. Like, ask me anything. I
Mhm.
mean, what do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I agree totally. Where I've had the most success and, built the biggest bond with clients is, having that time. I mean, there may be coming to me. I had a gentleman walk in to my office today and who has a long family history with my family. But I just also sold a property near his. And so, he's coming to me not because he knows me, but he knows I had some success for one
Yeah.
of his neighbors. And then he also knows my family and thinks highly of them. So things like that. Or I, just did a closing with another couple where, hey, they know that I sold a neighbor's property and they knew me from, my prior career. And they came in and said, hey, we want to get to know you a little bit more. And what are you offering?
Mhm.
And, how do we know that you're going to do a good job? How do we know you're ethical? How do we know
Right.
you're going to do the right thing? Asking a lot of really great questions. So ultimately, and I think the takeaway that we'd like to instill in everyone is just really it goes beyond the review or beyond the recommendation. Actually sit down and decide that, is this person a good fit? They may have been a good fit for my dad, but are they going to be a good fit for me?
Exactly. And I think as salespeople, we need to remember the some will, some won't. So what? Because if you get so hooked on, oh my gosh, I wasn't for that person. What did I do wrong? Well, you're not going to be for everybody, but you are going to be for the people that you attract. So shine your light, be a lighthouse, and the right people that want to work with you and that you want to work with will come into your life. I truly believe that.
Amen. I love it, Kayla. So I think I'm not going to try to top that. I think we'll leave it at that because I know you've got a closing you've got to get to. But
You
uh,
do.
Kayla, a pleasure as always. I hope we're able to connect over the 4th.
You will. Happy early birthday.
All right. Thanks. Have a great
Okay.
rest of the week.
I will if you will.
See ya.